All right, everybody, what's going on? I was moving some post oak the other day, and well, I messed something up. So I thought I had a good handle on one of these big post oak rounds, leaned it too far forward, and broke something. Let me show you what I did. All right, there you go. Look at that angle. Look at that hydraulic fluid leaking all over the tractor. So round was probably soaking wet, probably weighed a few 100 pounds, got it too far extended, and I ended up breaking it. So what I gotta do is I gotta take off these pieces here. Never done it before. So I'm gonna be doing this with a little OJT with some help from my buddy Chris from Holly Ridge Homestead. And we're gonna try to get this thing done, so follow along. All right, so let me show you what I did. See how this is supposed to be a nice straight line? Look at that. Dripping hydraulic fluid. Too much weight leaning forward. Didn't get a good grip on it and bent that one. Other one's got a little bend on it as well, but this one is by far bent, but we're gonna go ahead and replace both.
All right, stop. Do the next one.
Backwards again.
Are you going righty tighty?
I'm going backwards again.
Yep, because it's upside down.
It's upside down.
That one was upside down.
All right, take them all the way off.
I just kind of wait. Just finger tight it. That way we can try to hopefully stand them up.
Okay.
Then let's take the bottom top of that off. Let me get a
All right, that's one. I'd put in that bucket. Put in the bucket with all the hydraulic fluid that's about to go in there? No, we're just going to tack on the ground. All right. You don't need grass.
So how many cords? Louisiana cords. How many redneck cords have you gotten done this year?
Oh, well, that makes me think, because I would say 75.
Oh, dear Lord.
Yeah, 75.
That's a lot of wood.
Yeah, it's more like 25 actual cords, but we call them half cords in Louisiana. They used to cut the wood back to, someone told me they used to cut wood back to 24 inches, so it actually was. And now, standard firewood length 16, so.
So growing up.
Goodness gracious. All right, switching to gloves in the next one, I think.
I'll just hide that one behind there.
That's actually just gonna stay right there with gravity. That'll work.
All right, now let's take the bottom pin out first.
Let me break the handle and then put it back on upside down. All right, well, I'll just get that in a minute, I guess. All right, well, that wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. Another pin right here.
Yep, but it's going to take both of us. Let me get this thing set up.
Watch this.
All right, you go ahead and knock it, pull it out, and I'll hold this.
No knocking needed.
Bam.
No knocking needed. Covered in grease. Oh, let's see. Probably shouldn't set that one down on the ground. Glad I didn't have my finger in there.
Mm-hmm. That probably would have felt too good. All right, I'll hold that one here. Let me get this.
Yeah, last time it wasn't too much tapping. Yeah.
Let's see, probably about right there.
All right, we'll see if, just like last time, we don't really need to tap too much. Yep.
Done.
All right, now, by the magic of YouTube and time travel, the next time you see us, we will have the new rods, and we'll be reinstalling them. All right. Yeah, look at this now. See, this is a little bit better angle. We can tell. Look how curved that is. Too much weight when it was extended. Look at how it's coming up right there where he's pointing. Yeah. Got a hold of the weight. That tractor can pick up a good bit of weight, but not with the rods all the way extended like that. And I had a little jerk. What happened, I was picking up one of these large post oak rounds. It was sitting on top of this larger one. I pinched it with the grapple, and when I pulled it forward, it fell into this little notch. So I thought I could just get a hold of the top of it, come down like a claw machine, and just kind of pull it up and over. But when I did, I think I tilted forward, got too much weight. I got a good bite on it, obviously, but when it came off, it slid and pulled the grapple forward and gave me a nice little bend. Hey, good morning. It's cold this morning. We're in the 20s, Louisiana. All the snow and frost has melted away because we did have one day, got upper 50s. We moved that out of the sun. But speaking of the sun, that's why we moved the tractor this morning, because it's too cold to be working in the shade. So earlier in that video, we were talking about how I made a mistake, tore up the rods and hydraulic system. So we got the new pistons, the new pieces. Had a lot of issues with the hoses. I have a Branson Tractor, so it's a Korean-made tractor. They've now merged with TYM, so I have a little bit of issue finding parts for them. They use something called a British female coupler. 99% of all other tractors use a JIC coupler, so we went ahead and upgraded to that. I don't know if it's an upgrade as far as the capacity of the hose or how it's going to work, but it does make it more universal. So when, and not if, but when I bust a hydraulic line, I can easily go and switch out a new hose. Hydraulic hoses and fittings, not cheap. 4 hoses, couple $100. Fittings, probably about $40 every time I got the 90-degree bracket or whatever I needed. So I'll show you in a minute the old housing and how moving the port caused a lot of issues. But we're moving it to the sun, try to warm up a little bit, get a little bit of this natural warmth in here as the goats come to pay a visit. But we're gonna try to put the tractor back together. Last few days, I've been calling them tractor appreciation days, moving logs by hand, clearing brush, trying to manipulate some of the big rounds to where I can noodle them or get them split. It's been a real pain, so it'd be nice to get this guy back up and running. So, excited to get a little more strength here. This is how bent the last cylinders were. Look at that, tore that thing up. Also, the way these work, where the pins go in, the old ports used to come right off even with them, but on these new ones, they come out perpendicular or at a 90, so we had to add a 90-degree JIC fitting there. But again, that'll help. If I do blow a hose, then I'll make it easier to replace it because they're a little bit more universal. Speaking of hoses, this is the old hose right here, 2000, maybe 2600 PSI, I think it says right there, 2610 PSI, has two British female ends, which apparently is pretty non-standard, so we went ahead and had the JIC fittings put on for the new ones. I went with two 12-inch and two 15-inch because that's what these hoses were. I wish I would have could say that I planned it this way to end up with two spares, but what I ended up having to do was use the 15 for the short run, and then I had to go get two more made at 26 inches because the distance was good, but it created a nice little 90-degree bend in the hose, and obviously that's not going to work with hydraulics. So we're going to go ahead and start trying to get this stuff on here and get it assembled. We're obviously going to do the top first. All right, we're in there. We're definitely not. Let's see if we can get this guy done. First try. Okay, hey, we're gonna try to put this tractor together now. We've got the parts. We've been through a comedy of errors, starting from don't have the malfunction in the first place by overperforming your tractor. I thought I had a hold of something, had a good grip on it. Come to find out it was resting on something. So when I pulled it off that support, bent the tractor, lifted me forward, got a little dangerous, but no one got hurt, but it did damage those rods. Then I found out I got new parts. There were no replacement parts for mine other than going back to the factory. Branson and TYM have merged, causing some more issues. So Korean tractors, I know there's gonna be comments in here said I should have bought a John Deere. If you're happy to subscribe and tell about 1 million of your friends to do that, we might be able to afford a John Deere, but right now this is what we could afford. Hey, it's been a long time coming. The hydraulic cylinders have been rebuilt. We're putting them on. We're gonna go ahead and stop talking and get some work done. Hook up the hydraulic hoses and get to working again. It's pretty windy out today, so probably hard to hear a lot, but we've had a lot of issues with these cylinders. Try to rebuild them. The price was too high. We went and picked up some used cylinders hoping that they would work. Ended up being a little too long. Got them on, had some problems with the hydraulic fittings, got those all changed out, got some better hoses, which is good, but at the end of the day they were just a little too long, so the forks were never going to get nice and level, so that was not a non-starter. So instead of going and buying more, we just went ahead and bit the bullet, had these guys rebuilt. A little bit smaller rod than the other ones, but they're back, they fit, we know they're the right length. So we're gonna get those adjusted and fastened up. We'll put the hoses on here and then we're gonna get back to work.